Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Today joined by Bradley from Triple Ink
Yes.
on YouTube. He was one of the first guys that I befriended that was doing fragrance reviews back when I started. He doesn't really make videos so much anymore. Very rarely, like every once in a while.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll do one.
Yeah. I sent him my 7 fragrances for him to check out. He hasn't smelled them yet. He's got them all lined up right there. You can see.
Right here. Yep.
Yeah.
Ready to
So
go.
he's going to check them out and give his opinions. I wanted to rope Bradley into this since he's not on YouTube that much anymore. Figured I could pull him out of retirement for a little bit. I guess we'll start with number 1 and then just kind of work on down the line.
All right. Whoa. Ooh. Right away. So you said these are all extraits, right?
Yeah, these are all extraits of parfum.
Okay. Right away. Get a blast of tobacco, definitely.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
Not the sweeter variety. It seems like it's more kind of earthy, a little earthy vibe to it. More like the tobacco leaf, the plant itself, not plunged in sugar like a lot of other tobaccos these days seem to be.
Yes.
It's got some kind of depth underneath it as well. Like the tobacco is kind of up top, very aerated at the moment. Maybe let it dry down for a quick sec here. Yeah, I'd say this is definitely more the masculine side, I would say. Cooler weather like fall and winter now could really push out, maybe warm up a little bit in the air. Definitely more of a dressed up, I would say. I don't know if I wear this casually necessarily. Yeah, right away, got that very nice blast up front. I definitely got that gin, that sparkling, almost tobacco kind of thing, but now it's starting to muddle down a little bit more, and I'm getting the nice patchouli, tobacco, not as sweet, which is kind of a nice change of pace, and kind of a market that's very saturated with sweet tobaccos. And then, yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how this one dries down, so maybe we'll come back to that at the end and see.
Yeah, we can let them all kind of dry a little bit and run back through them. All right, cool. Let's do number 2.
Number 2. All right. Okay, right away, sweeter for sure. It kind of smells something like a less sweetened version of something you would get at like a really high quality coffee shop. Maybe like almond flavoring. I don't drink coffee personally. I do like the smell. Everyone in my office drinks coffee, so I'm like constantly surrounded by the smell. And they have all these different types of flavoring mixes, but it smells like my coworker just walked into my office, has his cup of coffee, got some almond flavoring in there, some whipped cream sprayed on top. That's definitely what I'm getting from this. It is very soft and airy and fluffy and inviting.
It's got that sort of smooth kind of vibe, yeah. Or it's not really like super aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like I can smell it from here, and it just kind of envelops. It doesn't like punch you in the yeah. This could be a big hit in the wintertime, I feel like, for sure. Maybe to work as well. It doesn't seem like it's overly overbearing in any kind of sense. So I feel this could be pretty office safe. Maybe on a date as well.
Yeah, my wife really likes this one, both wearing it and me wearing it.
Yeah.
So this one also has some woods in there as it dries down, some sandalwood, some cedar, some myrrh, and then vanilla as well. So
yeah, myrrh is one of my favorite notes. So if that kind of comes out in the dry down more, that could be really good.
Yeah, in the opening, it's got more of that kind of, like you said, that airiness. Then as it dries down, the coffee stays there because there's coffee absolute in the mid. So it's almost like you had a coffee and like that frothiness dies away, and then you have the actual smooth coffee itself.
Yeah, for sure.
And then those other notes from the base kind of rise up as it dries down.
It's interesting. There's a lot of like heavy notes that what you just listed off, like typically heavy notes that you feel like would be, if you poured all those into one bottle, they would just be way too much. But it's actually quite the opposite. This seems very, very light, and like everything was used in just in the right amount, very well balanced, very ethereal, I guess is the word, very light.
Yeah.
But still good smelling. And it smells like, I don't have any trouble smelling it from here. It's just kind of coming at me, but in a very nice way.
Yeah.
Here we go. Number 3. Right away, way up my alley. Fresher, on the fresher side versus these first 2, definitely. I don't want to say orangey, but like a kumquat maybe, or kind of a citrus, like a sweet, soft citrus, bright at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's bergamot and pomelo. So
nice. Yeah, I'm starting to get the bergamot maybe a little bit more now. Very nice, bright, zesty, kind of like fresh cut. Maybe a little bit of a aromatic quality somewhere nestled in there in the mid, maybe. Yeah, this is really good. Doesn't necessarily bring to mind anything that I've smelled before, so it's quite unique in that way. But it's pretty pleasing, I do like my citrus fresh scents. This is well done. I can smell the quality in here. It doesn't smell synthetic really at all. It's very, very nice, fresh, kind of juicy almost. Light white floral tinge underneath, but maybe might need to dry down a little bit more for that to come out for me. Yeah, definitely a springtime dominant scent, I think. Kind of reminds me like a nice spring day, sunny outside, walking out, kind of smell the fresh air. All the leaves are starting to start to come up on the trees, some flowers are out, and it's just a happy kind of scent, puts me in that happy frame of mind.
And this one as well, as it dries down, there's leather, there's blonde tobacco that comes out in the mid, and into the base, it gets a lot more of like an evening sort of fragrance. Notes of cedar, myrrh, vanilla, ambergris, vetiver, patchouli, like a whole bunch going on in the base of the scent.
I would have never guessed at all. I mean,
yeah. So it opens up with this sort of citrus combination with nice little bits of spice, the clary sage. And then as it dries on your skin, leather comes out, blonde tobacco comes out. You get those sweeter notes, those woodier notes in the base coming out.
I definitely want to see this when it dries down. It'd be interesting to see how it would balance out with that citruses and the clary sage in the opening. And then the florals as well. Florals and leather are always an interesting combination. Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
All right, let's do number 4.
Another soft, again, almost like irisy. I don't know if there's iris in here, but I want to say slightly powdery, slightly irisy, kind of smooth, seductive. I like about these aren't overly young as well. These aren't like something a teenager would necessarily go for. These all seem like they're, good for like that middle-aged guy. They got some maturity aspects to them, which I like.
Yeah. I think that a lot of these have just a really wide age range where somebody who's like in their 20s who wants to smell really unique, they can pull them off. Somebody middle-aged can pull them off. Somebody older can pull them off.
This one, very smooth. This is probably the best blended out of the 3 for me in terms of like not being able to necessarily pick out very many notes. There might be a slight like it's chocolatey, spicy, just it's almost like a mix of like an irisy, slightly powdery, very slightly spicy, slightly smooth. Well, very smooth, should I say, not slightly smooth. Pick up that little bit of a cinnamon kind of thing going on in there too. It's just now starting to come out, which I think it's just getting better the more I smell it too.
I've said this in other videos as well, so I'll be quick about it, but I've gotten noticed from that just as soon as I sprayed it on from like a room away, like a solid 20, 30 feet where my wife had her friends over, and as soon as I sprayed it, they were just like stopped. What is that?
I'm gonna have to wear this one on a night out.
Yeah,
so
in the air, that one is killer. I was testing that out originally, and I thought it smelled really nice up close. I was like, yeah, this is pretty nice. And then I went about my day, and every time I would catch a waft of it, I was just like, oh my God, like that smells awesome. Gotta go with this.
Yeah, got to.
Number 5.
All right. Ooh, okay. This is one that I feel like is the sharpest out of all of them so far. Maybe a little green, a little woody as well.
Yep.
There's a really unique note in here. I can't put my finger on it. It's a little creamy almost too. It's like a interesting juxtaposition of like the citrus, very bright, and there's almost like a creamy, juicy wood vetiver, very like succulent. Almost, I don't know if that's the right word for it.
That works.
Yeah, yuzu, like I've never really come across a yuzu fragrance. I know Manny hypes up the yuzu.
Yeah.
I've never smelled that, but there's like Issey Miyake has yuzu, right?
Right. Low DC.
Low DC, yeah. Which I was not actually too big of a fan of that one. I don't know if it was like the florals that it was mixed with, but it just came off overly stringent to me. But this, I think, puts that yuzu note up on a pedestal, and it's like, come smell me. Like, it's good.
Yeah, there's olibanum in the mid, so a little olibanum. It might be something that you're getting there with like the little bit of like sort of creamy vibe. And you said aromatics. There's clary sage in this one in the mid. There's pepper, Sichuan pepper, and Indonesian nutmeg. So it's not like a black pepper. It's got kind of a citrusy undertone to the pepper. Just kind of a little sparkle there.
Yeah, it is a very, very sparkly scent. That ginger, I think, will do that too, right? A lot of times it'll give it that sparkling kind of.
Yeah, especially with citrus, like those just go together. Like
has some body to it, which is nice because the yuzu is just like still there, still going strong, but there's that nice woody kind of thing underneath it. So it could be worn in the spring very easily, and cooler summer days, summer nights, definitely. I feel like it could like kind of set you apart because it's yuzu. You don't really smell that too often. This is pretty damn unique, I would say. And then one of my favorites so far, just because I lean towards the fresh bias. So you got to live up to my name of too fresh. So
Right. Yeah. Throw it back. Some
yeah.
people will get that.
Number six. Number six is my favorite number, so maybe that will
Oh,
correlate to my favorite scent. We'll see. Wow. Okay. That is definitely different. Like every one of these so far has had about a consistent level of smoothness to the scent. Like not one of them has come up and like, harassed my nose necessarily. Like, some designers or some, fragrances that you may, smell on a day-to-day basis will come up and just hit you in the nose and you can tell right away what they are. Each one of these, I feel like, has a certain smoothness to it, has a certain balance and blend to it, which I really appreciate so far. Yeah, this one's really interesting. I can't tell if it wants to go sweet or fresh. It's like teeter-tottering on the edge. It has like these kind of sweet, powdery, and then there's like a greenness, a freshness that also wants to be there too.
yeah. That one, it opens up a little fresher. Then as it dries down, it turns a little more toward the richer side a
Okay.
little bit. So there still is a little residual freshness, but it does a pretty quick change from, this opening and goes more toward that, suede and tonka and things like that.
But yeah, honestly, I think this one could be like one of those sleepers where you wouldn't think it would be as mass pleasing as it actually is.
That one actually, of all of these, is the one that grew on me the most. And the first time I smelled it, I was not really sure about it. But then it's like I wore it, and as the day went on, I kept liking it more and more. So I came back the next day and wore it again, and I liked it more, and just kept doing it over and over until it got to the point where I was like, oh, I love it. It's just like really, 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 really nice.
All right, number 7. Oh my God. Gotta stand up. Woo. Wow. Tropical paradise right here. A mint, either coconut or tropical fruit. Maybe a tropical floral underneath as well in here.
There's fig and there's quince.
Quince.
Yeah, fig and quince. There's also grapefruit and bergamot as well. So those fruits are all kind of right in there. And there's also a like a creamy lavender that's in there.
I guess fig does have that coconutty kind of connotation to it.
Yep.
Was this like fig leaves, or do you use like the fig?
Juicy fig, like an actual fig. Yeah.
That's really. It almost has like smells like a starburst, like a fig flavored starburst. It has that little sweetness, and that like when you bite into a really good starburst, you get that really mouth-wateringly good fruity tropical flavor. Yeah, this is like a day at the beach right here, summertime, like shades on, suntan lotion, having a good day.
Yeah, that one for me has a lot of versatility. It's like a lot of usability. You could wear it spring, fall, summer. I mean, really, you could even wear it in the winter if you wanted, because there's a little depth to it, little density to it.
Maybe it's just like the citruses are what I'm focusing on right now. But yeah, once it develops a little bit, this could be something could easily be worn all year long, just like you were saying. And that's, there's a big market for that when you don't want to necessarily worry about, okay, I want to go for this occasion, for this type of weather, for this everything, to know that you're going to smell good, putting on something that's everyone loves. Yeah, I can see how this has a very good compliment factor to it. Big is, oh wow, it's so good. Like it just keeps coming at me. It's pretty strong. This is one of the stronger ones. I feel like.
Yeah, it's got some good oomph to it. Yeah. So, I mean, all of them really do, but that one's got probably in the top 3 here.
Yeah, this is easily one of my favorites out of all of them. I'm actually going to probably wear this tomorrow, or I think it's going to be pretty warm here this week, and next weekend looks like it's going to be a lot cooler. So maybe I'll try some of the heavier ones next weekend.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff on that one. All right.
We'll
go for round 2 here.
Yeah, let's run back through them.
Yeah, he's been drying out for a little bit now, and we'll see what they have developed into. So number 1. Yeah, I feel like the tobacco really is becoming the star now of the show. Very nice to see like a non-sweet tobacco, not mixed with vanilla or like any other very sweet note like a lot of other tobaccos do, to like offset it, Sometimes people just need to accept that tobacco is a note and here's what it smells like. And
Right.
It doesn't need these sweet notes covering it up. You just got to take that sweet coat off and you just got the tobacco by itself, and it's still like a rock star. So yeah, definitely. I feel like out of all these, maybe for me personally would be a little bit more difficult to wear, just because I feel like it is a little bit more on the mature end, and there's time and a place I feel like for this one definitely, but I can appreciate how well it's blended and the quality of the tobacco that's in here, and that it is a non-sweet tobacco. You don't come across that. So I feel like anyone who really loves tobacco as a note by itself, or is looking for something that has tobacco in it but isn't sweet, this one could be right up that alley. So
Number 2.
definitely still as smooth as it was for sure. The heavy kind of almonds, well, not heavy, but the intense almondsness in the opening is kind of toned into the rest of it now. And a little bit of a sugary aspect. Yeah, man, I'm probably gonna wear this one next weekend. It's a little cooler out. Again, unisex, would love to smell this on a lady as well as myself. I think it could go both ways easily. Just a very comforting, inviting, pleasing, soft coffee-ish, but has other stuff going on in there as well. Not purely a coffee-dominated scent. Maybe if someone wants to get their feet wet in the coffee kind of scene, this would be a good one to start off with, I think. All right, number 3. This one had like the leather, I want to say, right, in the dry down.
Right. Yep.
I'm starting to get something more underneath. There's kind of a darker quality now underneath than what it was initially. This one is, of the two, showed the most development so far out of, I guess, these first two. Yeah, the sweetness, a little bit of sweetness that was in the opening is toned down quite a bit. Yeah, interesting note. It has a certain dryness kind of that's coming out a little bit now too, I feel like. And I can see how you were kind of talking earlier. I like this one was kind of transitioning from more of a daytime scent into the nighttime.
Yeah.
This could definitely be something that, if it has the performance necessarily for the night, that I think could be really good in the dry down, or even for, more of a intimate night. I guess this could be kind of interesting for that as well. I feel like. Go with number 4.
Number 4.
Again, right on that edge of like showing you a little bit of sweetness, but not going fully in there. That's actually that's one of my favorite genres. You guys know I'm more on the fresher side of things, and the few kind of heavier scents I do have in my collection will generally not go full sweet. Doesn't give you that fully dry, piercing cinnamon. You get the spice, but it's muddled over with something that smooths it out and gives it, or takes away from that super sharp quality that cinnamon usually has. Yeah, this one's really good. Stayed pretty similar. Again, I'll have to try this one out on skin coming up here. So we'll just see how this one goes.
We'll do number 5, the last 3.
That opening yuzu is still there. It is kind of, on its way out the door, I would say, a little bit. Not quite as vibrant as it once was when I first sprayed it, but that's to be expected with any citrus, I feel like. Still just as strong as it was, I would say, as well. Hasn't lacked any strength. Yeah, this one's really nice as well. Not sharp. With usually like a yuzu, you would expect it to be sharp, but this is not. This is juicy, very like fresh sliced, like yuzu juice. And it's kind of cooling. It has a cooling aspect for me.
Yeah, it's really refreshing kind of fragrance. Yeah.
I love my refreshing scents.
Yeah,
really like that. That one might be a candidate for top 3.
Now, number 6.
Yeah, I mean it's that very soft. Again, just soft is one of the words that comes to mind, but not boring. I mean, soft gives a connotation that it's not strong, which that's not the case with all these. Have a nice well-rounded quality to them, but they don't lack strength at the same time. I think that's usually when you hit the top of the perfumery right there, when you can make something that is natural smelling, soft, pleasing, but at the same time has strength to it as well.
Yeah, where it doesn't like overwhelm you.
Yeah,
it kind of like wafts over you.
on the top, yeah, because usually a fragrance would have to be super strong on the top in order for you to have strong dry down. Yeah. But yeah, it just doesn't overwhelm you right away. Exactly. All right, then we'll see how potentially my favorite so far has dried down. It's just like a breath of fresh air. I smell it. That's just what comes to mind. Yeah, fig, man. Fig. I've never really got into the fig game, so to speak. I know people really like that note. Yeah, it just gives you, it's like a mix between a tropical coconutty fruit kind of thing, and it has like such a bright zestiness to it, and like an aromaticness, and there is something underneath too. It's not fleeting. It's still absolutely just as strong as it was when I sprayed it. Yeah, I would say out of all of this is probably my favorite, just because I like my fresher scents and I like my very photorealistic kind of citruses, and I feel like this has that quality. So this one, number 7, probably my first favorite. And my second favorite, if I'm sticking with citruses, will be the number 5. Number 5, this one for the sheer wearability factor of it.
Yeah, super easy to wear.
Definitely, yeah. On for my third, we're doing top 3. It's close. It's between Mr. Number 2.
Mhm.
I really like how subtle this is in terms of the sweetness, how well it's pulled off, and considering I have a lack of winter scents in my in my arsenal,
Yeah, you go for the fresher stuff more typically.
usually. So it's between number 2 and I'm really getting the leather in 3 now. Like that one is absolutely flipped the switch completely. I dried on. Yeah, I would say probably number 2. Yep, that's my third favorite. So we got 7 in first, 5 in second, and 2 in third.
Right. Yep.
Overall, very impressed, Ashton, with this entire line. I said I had high hopes going into it, and you definitely met those and probably exceeded those hopes too. And that's just on paper. Like,
Right.
well,
Yeah.
I haven't even tried these things on skin yet, so I can only assume they're going to get better with going on skin.
Yeah. I personally don't really like smelling these off of strips, just because, especially for some of these, they are way better off of skin.
Yeah.
Like number 4, for example, I know I mentioned that already, but off of skin, like in the air, just awesome. And a few of these other ones as well, just come off like way nicer off of skin, in my opinion.
You know what? Since there's 7 of these, maybe every day this coming week, Monday to Sunday, I'll wear one of these to work and just to wherever, test them out, and then really get the full story. But I'm really excited to get these.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you to Bradley from Triple Link for stopping in. And thank you guys for hanging out this long. I know this video was really long, so thanks to you all. So stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.
See you.